So I finally watched the new movie in the John Wick universe, Ballerina, and I've got to say that this is a very enjoyable movie. There are some things that hold it back, but I'll get into that into the spoiler section later on in the video. But story is pretty simple. It's a revenge movie, much like all the other stories in this John Wick universe. It's a revenge movie. Ana de Armas' character is Eve, and she is on a mission to get revenge for the death of her father, and she will stop at nothing to do so. And we've seen how that happens in this universe. And what's really cool about this is that it does kind of expand the lore of the world a little bit more, and doesn't break anything, mostly. And I just think it's really interesting. I just don't think story-wise, is as good as some of the better John Wick movies. Like some of the more story-driven John Wicks, like 4. In my opinion, 4 is the best. It's just, so cool. But it's still really solid and good. I do think its story is, below 4, maybe below the first one. And I don't know. I really don't know how I rank the John Wick movies. I just know that they're all fantastic. And I do think that this story is stronger. Not as strong as the most recent entry in the franchise, though. And, yeah. So I'm going to give a hand grenade for the story. Cinematics is an easy hand grenade score. So much so because she kind of uses a lot of them in the movie. And just the action set pieces are fantastic. The music soundtrack is also fantastic. And everything about, the core cinematic aspect of this movie is just really well done, as you would expect in a John Wick movie. So, yeah, really good action, which is exactly what you want in this film. So, easy hand grenade score. Directing, I thought it was really well directed, well paced, and, yeah, the action sequences were well shot. I did like how they were framed, really good. Directing as well, hand grenade score there. Acting, everyone does a great job. Ana de Armas is fantastic in this role, and she does play a really good action lead, which is why I think she was cast in that James Bond movie, No Time to Die. I'm pretty sure they were I wish they had used her more in that, but honestly, that probably means we wouldn't have gotten her in this, so I'm happy that we got her in this, because the action in these John Wick movies are much more interesting, and they show a lot more talent than in the Bond movies. So, yeah, really solid work from Ana de Armas. So, I gotta say, mad props, hand grenade score. Expectations and experience, and this is where we're gonna get into the spoiler corner, where I have 2 major issues with this movie. And the first one is it kind of overuses John Wick. I think that this movie would have been better with just ignoring how, John Wick is alive in the universe. He is around. But I think he's overused. Just that quick sequence in the church, which I know isn't shown in the trailers, is solid the first time he is shown. And just, if they just left it at that, I would have been okay. Oh, yes, here's your connection to John Wick, and that's all you really need. But then, in the third act, he comes back, and I just don't think he was needed. I think it would have been more interesting of a twist had it been the girl that she was protecting at the beginning of the movie, Tatiana. And I think that would have made a more interesting twist. She didn't actually leave. She is still on this payroll. And I don't know. I think it would have been more interesting and a better twist. Everyone is expecting John Wick to show up, but then in reality it's not. Because then by having John come back, it makes the universe feel smaller. And this movie did a good job of expanding it, but then it felt really small at the end. I know it makes sense, but, I want John to be his own thing. And also it confuses the timeline a bit, because that scene at the beginning, I'm pretty sure, was from 3 or 4. I didn't rewatch them. I should have. And then it's 2 months, there's another time jump, and then that makes me believe that it's after the events of 4, and then he's alive again. And I'm like, oh, so you're going to tell us that he's alive at the end of 4, even though it was like heavily emphasized and like believed to be the case. It's a small issue for this one, but the other issue is the twist that her sister was alive the whole time. That was so dumb and cliche and really not needed, and that really kind of upset me. But those were my two issues: overuse of John Wick and a really, really dumb, bad twist that literally does nothing to the plot. But yeah, the flamethrowers are cool as fuck. So yeah, overall, that doesn't sway the fact that the expectations were met and the experience was very good. And this movie is a certified hand grenade movie, and that's all you really need to know. This is a really good, fun movie, and that's all you really need from John Wick, this John Wick franchise. So, certified hand grenade. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts and opinions on Ballerina if you've seen it or you're planning on seeing it now. Subscribe if you haven't already, and other than that, I'll leave you guys to it.